I'm about to go off on a long personal tangent about myself, but I promise it's important to the context of the video. Let me just start this off by saying I am a person with dreams. I have aspirations. I consider myself a musician, an artist, a writer, video producer. I want to make a career out of these things. The thing is, in order to do that, I need an audience. I can't live off of any of these things if no one knows I exist. For that reason, there is a very singular objective that is etched into myself, carved into my brain and into the brains of all the countless others like me trying to make it in this world. A purpose of pertinacious exigency to the survival of ambition, to the freedom of the soul, a personal manifesto which is succinctly proclaimed in 4 simple words. Gotta get up there. Unfortunately, getting up there is not very easy these days. YouTube is continuing to rebrand itself as Television 2 while competitor websites struggle to even exist. The only thing this website truly values from you is watch time, and if you're not someone who can rake in tons of watch time, YouTube won't do a damn thing to promote you. This is one reason gameplay videos are so popular and profitable. They require significantly less effort to make than many other video types, and it's easy to frequently upload lengthy sessions of yourself playing video games. Hell, YouTube will literally reward you for being bad at editing and wasting people's time because it would much rather show off a dozen lengthy, minimally edited gameplay videos than a single cut-down highlight reel showing off all the parts actually worth watching. They'll do whatever manages to keep people's eyes trapped on their website for the longest amount of time so they can show as many ads as possible. I've been going at this for over half a year now and have only had a single video reach over 1,000 views. And that video just so happens to be a 34-minute gameplay video. One which happened to be edited down highlights from several hours of footage because, you know, I actually care about my viewers' time. I don't make anything I wouldn't personally want to watch. As a side note, I should probably acknowledge the fact that a lot of my videos are actually quite lengthy. The thing is, I try to create in-depth tutorials for music production, so these kinds of lengths are fairly necessary for me to have any hope of actually teaching anyone anything rather than just giving them a quick meme summary a la Aces to Aces. Not that I dislike those types of videos, but I try to be more informative. However, I still try to edit them down as much as possible without cutting out any important info. If I didn't care about being as concise as possible within the confines of my style, a lot of these videos would probably be over an hour long. Or, you know, cleverly split up into multiple 30-minute segments in order to give the illusion that they're not so long while also appeasing YouTube's insatiable appetite for near-daily uploads. And that insatiable appetite, that ravenous demand that you churn out lengthy videos multiple times a week to have any chance of success made me feel hopeless. I couldn't make videos like that. That was not what I wanted this channel to be. Like, yeah, some of my videos are quite lengthy, but they are not things I can make every couple of days. Like, this one in particular took months to make. If I were forcing myself to put out these kinds of minute counts every couple of days, I would be just throwing out so much pointless filler and wasting my audience's time. I don't want to do that. I didn't want to play by YouTube's awful rules, but I still wanted to get up there. I wanted the promotion and audience that would come from selling myself out to this terrible website while still creating things that took time and effort and wouldn't require me burning myself out as I desperately scramble to think up a new video idea every couple of days. God, can I just pause real quick to say, holy shit, I do not want to actually be a YouTuber. I want to make videos, but I only want that to be one aspect of my creative products, and I want to treat them as things that I just happen to make when I feel a desire to, when I have a reason to. I don't want to just treat them as deadlines I have to stress over like I'm a cog in a 9-to-5 office job. There are people on this site who grind themselves to the bone churning out videos every couple of days that actually do require time and effort, and God bless them, but that kind of existence just looks so fucking miserable to me. Where was I? Oh yeah, I wanted to have a sellout-sized audience without actually selling out. And so, after watching a video about some random kid who raked in millions upon millions of views by making the most low-effort Fortnite clickbait, an idea popped into my head. What if I just did all of that, but in a way that was secretly satirical? What if I just made a second channel where I pumped out low-effort gameplay videos every few days and relied on things like clickbait? And what if... Now hold on here. What if I did it all while having boobs? like the first time I ever said that word out loud. Now, if you couldn't tell, I'm not exactly the most masculine of guys. My gender identity might be slightly confusing to those unfamiliar with the concept of femboys, but it can pretty much be comprehensively summarized by the following video clip.
Actually, I'm a boy.
Are we on the same page here now? Okay, good. I think we can all agree that popularity comes a bit more easily if you've got a sizable chest visible in the frame of a webcam feed, and I'm already a pretty feminine person in general, so I decided I'd go all in on this alternate female persona. Codename, Michaela. Now, the way I did all of this was... Okay, you know what, screw it. You guys are gonna see my face in the stream webcam anyway. My webcam doesn't actually have a record button on it or anything, I just did that for the sake of having a transition. Hi, I'm not actually all that used to speaking into a webcam, so, I'm kinda just trying not to make my future self cringe right now. Sorry, me. If I do a bunch of weird, nonsensical arm movements, it's probably because I'm really nervous. I'm currently wearing a long sleeve shirt in the middle of July because this is the cutest outfit I own, and I'm still kind of self-conscious about my... Alright, so step 1, be born with reasonably androgynous facial features. That's probably the hardest part. I know my nose is like kind of big, but my jawline's actually like fairly feminine, so I think that kind of makes up for it. Step 2 is spend months and months training your voice in order to achieve a more feminine kind of resonance and get used to speaking in a higher pitch. That's the second hardest part right there. Step 3 is be too poor to afford electrolysis and instead rely on color corrector and concealer in order to hide your slate beard shadow. And you might as well cover the dark circles under your eyes too while you're at it. I'm still really new to makeup, so I might be doing a terrible job at this, but I mean, it's reasonably serviceable. It helps to have a terrible webcam, that way people can't see your mistakes. Step 4, brightly colored wig. This part is kind of optional, but I really wanted this persona of mine to have bright blue hair, and I think it helps me look a little bit more feminine. I know it's not really the most convincingly real looking thing in the world, but I've seen other girls who wear wigs as their normal hair because they don't want to commit to dyeing it, so I was just gonna say I was doing that, like I wasn't trying to convince anyone this is actually real. Step 5. Ow, fuck. Oh my god. Gamer glasses. I'm nearsighted, so I only actually need these when I'm driving or looking at things far away, but I think they help with the overall aesthetic. And finally, step 6. Have a friend willing to give you these. Yeah, so I'm friends with a trans girl who used to use breast inserts but no longer needs them now that she has the real deal, and she was enough of a saint to send these to me for free. These things are like incredible, by the way. I mean, I'm a turbo virgin who has no idea what breasts actually feel like, but these feel pretty much how I imagined they would. And then you just position the webcam so that both your face and chest are in frame, and you're golden. Now, I mean, I don't want to sit here and claim that I'm beauty incarnate or anything, but I think I reasonably pass, right? Like, I know my voice isn't flawless yet, but I think it's serviceable, and it'll get better the more I practice it. And yeah, obviously I'm wearing a wig, but there's other girls that do that too, and obviously you know that I'm actually a guy, but when it comes to people randomly finding me on Twitch, I don't think most people would question my gender unless they were extremely skeptical already of what people have in their pants. I mean, I don't know, maybe my friends and I are blind and deaf, but even if you don't think I pass right now, I'm pretty sure I'd be able to as I got better at this, and anyone questioning me right now would be doing so while I was still really obscure. Like, maybe there'd be rumors, but once I got popular, I think the vast majority of people would still see me as a girl. I'm fairly confident that I would have been able to pull this off. I actually originally had the idea to be as much of a shameless attention attractor as possible. Like, hey, how about you actually, like, pull your microphone down before you start speaking? I was originally going to be as much of a shameless attention attractor as possible, you know, starting drama, putting up a fake over-the-top personality in order to attract as many people as I could. But, you know, all the shamelessly evil tactics employed by all the top content creators. However, I quickly decided against that due to the fact that I have a soul, so I instead decided to mostly be myself, but lie about my gender for the boob views and cast aside my principles of quality over quantity by uploading as much as possible in order to appease YouTube's algorithms. By the way, I still have makeup on, but don't get used to this because I'm actually not the biggest fan of wearing it myself, so you'll have to deal with the dark circles under my eyes demise in the future that'll be even worse than they are now with my terrible attempt at covering them up. Anyway, the plan was to stream on Twitch, and then I would take segments of gameplay footage from my streams and throw them up on YouTube so that I could just churn out whatever meaningless content I could slap together, because that's all YouTube cares about, just content. Videos? What are videos? What? YouTube doesn't care. You could upload 10 minutes of a silent black screen and YouTube would still promote it if you got enough people to watch it all. Because it doesn't matter what the video is, all that matters is that it's content. And we need more content. Content mass-produced in worldwide content factories with 22-year-old sweatshop workers so we can just flood our servers with landfills of cheap garbage content to feed to the masses like the mindless cattle we treat them as. Sorry, I was kind of channeling my inner Emperor Lemon for a minute there. Of course, I didn't want to actually sell out like this, so I convinced myself that it would be okay if I was doing this all with a fake persona, that I'd be doing it just to highlight how terrible YouTube's systems are, even if I'd still end up benefiting in the end once I revealed who I was and told everyone to go subscribe to my main channel. I planned this meticulously. I pre-wrote a series of tweets that I sent out on my main Twitter in order to gain an initial viewership boost. I even pre-wrote part of the script for the eventual reveal video. I wanted to go all the way with this. I fantasized about growing this fake channel to like 100k subscribers and then finally having that "actually I'm a boy" moment where I took off the mask and revealed that the whole thing was a sham. If I did everything correctly, I felt like I could have gone down in Twitch/YouTube history with people one day saying things like, "Hey, remember that gamer girl that turned out to be a guy the whole time?" No, not really. Oh. I could have been history. Now, there's also a very high possibility that I'm actually just an enormous idiot and none of this could have ever worked out to begin with. Whether that's because I don't actually pass nearly as well as I think I do, or there's some other unforeseen consequence that could arise. And in fact, the likelihood of that being the case is probably above 50%. And I kinda knew that going in, but regardless of whether or not that was gonna work out or not, I was still willing to do that. To at least try it, because that's how desperate I have been feeling lately. And I was putting so much effort into this whole charade. I even spent hours and hours drawing this Persona 5 style stream art. And as a matter of fact, I actually failed immediately due to the amount of effort I was putting in, because I made a 6-minute highlight video of my first few streams rather than just throwing up a bunch of minimally edited clips that'd squeeze out more watch time, because I just couldn't do it. I absolutely just could not bring myself to take what I knew should have been a 6-minute highlight video and keep so much padding in that it would get stretched out to 20 minutes or so. Fuck that. If I make gameplay videos that long, I want them to be less frequent mega compilations of what would have otherwise been like 3 separate condensed highlight videos. I don't know how the hell anybody can bring themselves to produce shallow videos they themselves would never watch just because they've got young fans who have a lot of time to waste. I mean, I don't know, I'm not saying it's necessarily evil or anything. There's still a market for it even if you ignore YouTube favoring that stuff. I'm just saying that I personally cannot do it. And speaking of things I couldn't personally do, after a couple of weeks of streaming as Michaela, I started to have some serious doubts. Every time I woke up and remembered I was scheduled to stream later that day, I had this sharp sinking feeling in my chest. It was annoying having to put on the makeup and the wig and the breast inserts every single time I went live. It was stressful having to make sure my voice sounded passable before I clicked start and having to constantly worry about dropping too low in pitch at any point during the stream, and most of all, it felt wrong that I was doing all of this in order to lie to people. I'm not a trans girl. Label me with whatever you want, but I'm ultimately just an androgynous person who happens to have some feminine dispositions. I don't feel like I have a female soul. I don't want breasts beyond the tiny chest bumps that hormones have given me, and I'm happy with my voice without having to constantly raise it to a female pitch. I wasn't altering my outer appearance to match what I felt like I really was on the inside. I was putting on a costume and pretending to be something I wasn't, and in doing so, I was lying to everyone who decided to tune in and spend their time watching me. I was gaining viewers and followers, but I was deceiving every single one of them, and it just didn't feel right. But in spite of that, I plan to push through and continue it because I felt like I had to. I never decided to do any of it because I wanted to. I decided to do it because I honestly did not think there was any other way for me to gain an audience. My actual YouTube channel was getting nowhere fast, and it seemed hopeless that I'd ever be able to get anywhere with it. But then, you motherfuckers. I have gotten so many comments on my last video, like messages on Tumblr, just so many people telling me that my last video was something they needed to hear, like something that helped them. I don't have a script for this part. I don't even really know what to say. I've had people telling me that my videos in general have helped them to be more confident with themselves, and of course, RoboBuddy's shouting me out definitely, helped, and I'm very thankful to her for doing that as well. I probably wouldn't have gotten half of these people otherwise. And I saw all of these comments just coming in one after the other, just notification after notification, and I just started to realize that I don't need to do that whole thing. That video got over 1,000 views in 2 days, which by my standards is insane. My subscribers went from 200 to 300, and I know how inconsequential that must sound to anyone who's used to big YouTube numbers, but to me it's proof that what I have here isn't nothing. There's something here, and I can make things here, and people are actually gonna watch it, and maybe I'll start being able to hit milestones sooner than I thought I'd be able to. So many different people telling me how important this video was to them. I don't know, man. I am just overwhelmed over here. And for the first time, I feel like I actually have a chance here. I feel like I don't have to resort to any underhanded means to get ahead. So I'm putting Michaela in the trash. From now on, I'm just gonna be Mako. I want to make it clear though that I'm not trying to get on a high horse and talk down to anyone who has to sell themselves out to make it in this environment. It's a tough world, and YouTube is a game that isn't designed to be won without some form of cheating. If there is legitimately no other way for you to make it than to use some form of questionable method, whether it's clickbait or valuing quantity over quality or whatever, then I'm not judging you. I only ever planned to do this Michaela thing in the first place because I genuinely believed that I had no other choice, and even at only 300 subscribers, I feel a certain privilege in being proven wrong in that regard. I'm definitely not climbing super fast, but I know there's others like me who are having an even harder time, and if they have to sell a tiny piece of their soul to have a chance at getting somewhere, I really don't blame them. Though I'd hope they would start to be more genuine once they finally do get an audience. Quick side note, I've got to shill Emperor Lemon again because I saw another video of his in which he talks about people who subscribe to you for shallow reasons and don't actually care enough about you to watch most of your videos, and I can say with confidence that I won't have to worry too much about that. You guys continuously proved me that in your eyes I'm not just some easily replaceable conveyor belt of vapid content. You actually care about who I am. I realize now that I'd rather have 300 real fans than 30,000 hollow subscribers who only watch me because they think I have a nice rack. I also want to emphasize again that I don't have any fundamental problem with streaming or let's playing or anything like that. I just think it's dishonest and manipulative to put on a fake persona and do it all for the sake of money and fame, and I personally did not want to do that. As long as you're being yourself and doing it because it's something you love, I think it's fine, and as a matter of fact, I'm actually going to be continuing my own streams as myself rather than as Michaela, I think. I'm not 100% sure how I'll feel doing them, and I might even feel slightly guilty that people are spending their time watching me play video games, but I'll try to remember that they're only doing it because they want to. I'm not trying to hold anyone hostage here. Here's my stream if I do decide to commit to this. There is a slight chance that it'll end up feeling stressful for me, so if you're watching this in the future and my stream is dead, then that's probably why. I think it'll be alright though. I can't make any promises, but I'm pretty sure I'll enjoy it a lot more when I don't have to worry about putting on a fake persona, so it should be fine. You'll be able to find my schedule on the Twitch page. Don't watch me if you have anything better to do though, seriously. Also, don't worry, this won't detract from my ability to make my normal videos. The time I'll spend streaming is time I would have just spent playing games by myself anyway. And if I make occasional stream highlight videos, they're gonna be things that I think are actually worth watching. I ain't gonna be posting 10-minute clip compilations where mildly interesting things sometimes happen. For me to deem something worthy of appearing on this channel, it's gonna have to be on roughly the same level as the legendary Stairs pentalogy, where me and two friends constructed an elaborate and terrible interactive obstacle course in a legally distinct online Lego game and then watched confused children accidentally take bicycle drugs.
He's going to the pharmacy. He's gonna touch all the drugs. And he's gonna die in 30 seconds and be a bike and not know why. Your time is limited, boy. You took some bad medicine.
What happened? What happened?
Pick the bike one!
Anyway, yeah, I can't tell you how happy I am that you guys are giving me this chance to make something of myself while still being genuine. I don't want to cheat my way to the top and land on a pile of fans that I didn't really earn like so many others have done. Hell, even if I do earn it, I'm gonna have a hard time feeling like I deserve it. This culture of idols and celebrities seems so weird to me, just the idea of having thousands or even millions of people who love you just because you're able to entertain them. I don't know if I'd be able to live with myself if I got to that point with underhanded means. One day, if I play my cards right, people are going to know who I am. And even though I won't deserve the amount of adoration I'll receive, I want to at least earn it. It'll help me sleep better at night. Okay, I'm being a little melodramatic there. I don't actually expect myself to have trouble sleeping at night just because people like me. But God almighty, I do not understand how people think they're deserving of fame for the most low-effort and inane garbage. If one day I somehow get millions of eyes on me, I don't want to ever feel like I'm worthy of that attention. Don't get me wrong, I want to reach as many people as possible with what I do, but like, I'm just some weirdo. I'm no better than you. And honestly, the thing is, as ecstatic as I am to receive all these amazing words of encouragement from you guys, I'm a little scared, too. I'm scared that I'll get used to them and that they'll begin to lose their meaning, that I'll stop seeing you guys as people and start seeing you as numbers in my view counts. That's why I couldn't go through with this alter ego of mine. I saw Michaela's small but steadily rising viewership as nothing more than numbers to bring me to my goal. That's not what you guys are to me. There will come a time where I won't be able to read and respond to every single comment on my videos, and that scares me, but it's going to have to happen if I want to achieve my dreams. I don't know how I'm going to handle it, how I'll feel when these wonderful acts of kindness become the norm and my viewer base starts to blur together in an increasingly impossible to keep track of pool of numbers, but I know right now in this moment that each and every one of you was a person, and right now, a single person's words mean so much to me. So, I'll try my best to remember this moment. I promise.
My heart is a furnace, had a selling my word of conflict. One goes what keeps me going. Take back what I lost to the bosses of greed and fear. Yeah. Don't ask if I'm ready, but I'm ready to take them down now. The time for a new start is constantly drawing nearer.